G'day guys, Robo here. Quick update before we get into this video. You may have heard in some of the recent videos interjections say that with the ECL main stage and AoE 3 LAN being finished now, we're taking a little bit of a different strategy with our YouTube uploads. So instead of just posting, huge 3-hour long videos all the time, we're instead going to try to focus on uploading individual games that YouTube can get behind, like we can recommend to people and be really high quality. So what I've done is I've spent some time over the past week going back through pretty much the entirety of the ECL, trying to pick out some of my favorite games so that we can put them out there and I guess showcase some of the diamonds amongst the rough to, bring out the best of what the ECL has been in the lead up to the LAN finals. And it was such a long tournament, and there were so many games, so many awesome games. It would be a shame not to pick out a few of the best ones. It's not over yet, though. There is still time to book tickets to the LAN final here in Manchester if anyone wants to come along. There's, I think, about 24 tickets left at the moment, but once they are gone, they are gone. We won't be adding in any more tickets or anything like that. That's the maximum amount we can fit in the studio, and you can read more details about that in the description below the video. Now, this particular game, this was taken from the Europe's 4v4 stage, and this was played way back in July 2018, and it features AM versus Team Secret. It is an absolutely amazing, awesome match with both teams, and they're basically constantly fighting over this one small mound of a hill on one side of the map, going back and forth, trying to gain control of this small little important area and try to get control and win the game. So here you go. I hope you all enjoy the video.
Aftermath versus Secret, this is going to be one of the most hyped games of the day, potentially one of the closest games of the day, because both of these teams are absolute heavyweights. Aftermath and Secret going at it in a best of 3. The loser knocked out won't score any points, and the winner will fortify their position in the rankings. We're going to get game 1 going right about now.
I think you need to explain again, Zach. It feels unfair, like the best 2 teams in the world facing each other in the first round. Why was that?
Well, it feels unfair that Aftermath and Secret clash in round 1, but it is not fair because this tournament doesn't use seeding. It uses essentially a round-robin format. Every single team will face every other team in the first round twice. There are 8 teams and there are 14 events, essentially a double round robin over the course of the whole tournament, which means that although Aftermath face Secret now, and they will face them again in round 1 later, they will face all the other teams in round 1 as well over the course of the whole tournament.
Sweet stuff, and that's why we see so many different matchups, some that we might never see in a different format, and lovely and absolutely fair for everyone, as it should be with this big $60,000 tournament. Introduce the teams, Zach, please.
All right, well, first of all, I'm seeing Aftermath. They are down to the south on Team Acropolis. In the grey, we have MBL playing as the Slavs. We have Leary in the green playing as the Berbers. In the teal, we have Nikov playing as the Magyars. And in the blue, we have Hart playing as the Spanish. I get really excited when I see Nikov playing. Like this, I love watching Nikov play, and he's one of the best players in the world, and it's exciting when I have Nikov on my screen.
I'm a huge Nikov fanboy.
Yeah.
Everyone is always saying oh, Viper number 1, Leary number 2, and I always feel like I think Nikov would be number 2. The problem is that he's not playing those 1v1 tournaments too regularly, but I think we will see him go deep in quite some ECLs. One of the only 2 winners ever in EGM tournaments.
Yep, he won Escape Gaming Masters 2, if I'm not mistaken, yes. Which was not a shock, but it did mean that Viper, I think, didn't even finish in the money in that tournament because he knocked him out. That was a good tournament. But this is a team of all-stars, Nilly, and a team of champions, as Barbecue Turkman said last week, does not make a champion team. Let's see what Aftermath can do against the other team of champions. Nilly, who was on the other side of the map?
It is Team Secret starting from the right-hand side. A Mongols player, the Viper. I like the Mongols way more this time because we won't have Scandinavia. His pocket position will be his good friend, Mr. Jordan 23. Magia's incredible, strong Cav civilization. Tato taking one for the team with the Spanish. The trade bonus will incredible be for them. And Doubt loves his camel archers and therefore picked the Berbers.
Yep, and Hart, meanwhile, lost a villager somewhere or a scout. He's down a population, and I see his scout is alive. So he lost a villager somewhere under his TC, taking a boar. I think he's doing it without loom, and so he's going to be down 1. That's the only notable event that's happened so far. Neither team attempting to come forward and do any scout shenanigans. But this map, really, it's not like your average 4v4 team game map. It's not like in Arabia. It's got one very crucial, very different factor, and that is that all players start incredibly close together, which means that, you know, the pocket players, Nikov and Haliri, they're not really pockets. They don't have to play as pockets, and you get complete control. Oh, Haliri there, just saving his Vil with that house. Nearly lost another one, did Aftermath. And in fact, the ball's going to run back. Oh, he's got it. Okay.
Oh, such a real play. And yeah, that's a scrappy start. Lily won't have a good scout rush if he wanted to go for one. And let's think about civilizations. We have Magyars, Spanish, Berbers for both. And then we have Slavs against Mongols. Slavs, obviously nice because you're picking civilization out of the Civ pool. Mongols, those elite mango dice could be pretty good in a 4v4 scenario.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Slavs and Magyars have to be the most... Well, I don't know, like one of the most popular civs on this map. But we said before that the Mongols really going to be powerful on the Scandinavia map. However, there is no Scandinavia in this civ draft, or in this map draft, I should say. So that means that the Secret team can utilize their Mongols in game 1 on Team Acropolis, where they could do serious damage. And I think they'll do a lot more damage than the Slavs as well.
We will see. And yeah, as you said, Scouts so good, and that's why we see them, all those civs being played on Acropolis. 3 players from the Tyrants going to the feudal age early on, and we see 2 players from AM only. So 2 fast castles from AM, only 1 fast castle, Mr. Doubt. Or Team Secret.
Of course it's Doubt doing the fast castle. It has to be Doubt. And he's got a really nice mill at the back, actually, as well. He's milled his berries, but he's milling the back because he's got this, like, massive deer patch. He's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 deer within reach of that mill there, which is really nice. And he's going to absolutely take the most of that if he's planning to boom. And we're going to see some aggression coming in fairly shortly as players start to hit the feudal age here. The barracks coming up from Nikov and the stable to follow as well. He's already working on that. We've got the stable from Jordan 23. That's both of the Magyar players doing scouts. The Spanish player Tato, he's got his his stable up, and we can also see that it's Hart, who is the Spanish player on Aftermath's side, that is not doing the barracks and stable. He is going to be the guy going for the castle. So a very different strat here, Nilly. What do you think? The Spanish player going for conks or the Spanish player going for scouts?
Spanish player for Kongs is better if you have other players going for scouts. It feels like a bit of an overkill to me. Like 3 players going scouts? But if the enemy is going mass spearman and come wall up, it feels like, are 16 scouts really doing more damage than 11 scouts? I don't really see that. So I think Spanish player could have transitioned into something else.
Yeah, it's interesting as well. I just saw this fight on the front with Viper. His 3 scouts absolutely owning Nikov. His micro there was perfect, and that's even with Nikov having the extra 1 attack on his scouts compared to Viper there. Just solid micro already from the yellow player. Tato coming in as well with his scouts now. We've got Jordan 23 adding some as well. And it looks like it's going to be... Am I mistaken in saying that it's just 2 scouts for Aftermath and 3 then for Secret?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's 2 players playing Fox Castle here. And let's see, Leary, he's going for Camel Archers as well. That means we will need a lot of Spearmen being produced from Nikov and from MBL here, trying to save their teammates. But at the moment, seems like AM somewhat bulletproof.
Well, I think AM have been really smart because they've actually walled up really early on their most important resources. On the wood lines, they're already closed in. They already have walls down on the stones, on the other wood lines at the back. But there's a hole. There's always a hole. Seems like MBL will be there, however, to push Tato away. Tato doesn't want to get stuck inside of the wall and end up being trapped in with some spearmen. Definitely does not want to be caught foul of that. So he'll look for another angle. But... Leary's already walled up his woodline over here, and the Secret are having a hard time finding too much damage at the moment, I have to say.
And that really shows you how well AM is reacting to that. It's so easy to screw up a single quick ball, to have one single hole. We see that on the highest level over and over again. But AM, they are playing 100%. They know what's on the line.
Absolutely, and they know that they're going to be under a bit more pressure when they've got 2 of their 4 players doing a fast castle strat. Looks like MBL will lose 1 villager on this left side, though. It's inevitable that you're going to lose more when your opponents have more military, but they've done a great job at reducing the losses as much as possible. Apart from the 1 villager that died from Nikov, only about 4 or 5 kills for Secret so far onto the Aftermath side, and I think only 1 or 2 vills as well. So really good going. Leary is up to castle. He's going to have his castle on the way up. Nice and defensive. Doubt also on the way up, or already in the castle age, with his castle on the way as well.
Nikov even got 2 kills against Jordan there at the top. So normally, if like the enemy is playing more aggressive and you have the eco approach, like kind of out of the point of view of AM, the lower the KDs overall, the better for you. So that really shows you Team Secret wanted to do more damage, but really couldn't. And I like the spot of AM. It just feels like hard with his Conquistadors. Will be tricky for him. Will he go for mass Conquistadors, or will he add 2 TCs and tries more of the eco approach?
Well, definitely will be adding Conquistadors. Viper's got something to say about that, though. The villager there going to go down on the castle, and Hart building that castle super close to his TC. When you're building the castle that close to the TC, it seems weird that he'd have a villager out here building it rather than on this south side, which is closer to safety. Viper's diving in, looking for more damage, but he might find another villager here. I don't think he can commit. He has to back away. But overall, not as much damage as Secret would have liked, I think.
Yeah, but we're always talking about indirect damage as well. The enemy's army had to be at home. They forced a lot of quick walls, forced the castles to be very defensively as well, not protecting like too much open wood, for example. And yeah, now they know the whole map, know all the wood spots, so it still is a good thing for Secret. And like they just know the strategy choices for 100% as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Doubt's castle also very defensive, though. It's not like he used his this castle as an opportunity to get some ground in the middle of the map, and you can see the repercussions of that already as Leary comes in, hits Jordan 23, who's just started building a TC here, and he has to bail because those 2 camel archers are enough to kill all of those villagers if he committed to building that town center there. Knights from Jordan coming over, and oh no, look at this. Jordan's knight trapped between the woodline and the barracks, the stable there, and the barracks. And he's actually had to delete the barracks to let it out after losing 2 villagers already.
And that's a sloppy play, I believe. Jordan, why did he not tell Doubt to send his camel archers there? It kind of was the only exposed spot that they had. And, I felt like there I would have loved to see Doubt. defending that.
Yeah, I think he could have defended. He had some camel archers around, but I think he was dealing with some other raiding at the same time. Nikov's just found 2 villager kills onto Tato as well, and I think he'll even get a third here because those scouts have 3+4 attack. So Nikov just finding himself 3 kills, while 2 of the... sorry, not even 2, all 4 of the secret players are in the castle age, and he's finding even more kills back here. This just shouldn't be happening. These 3 scouts, man, so much damage from Nikov already, and finally they might meet their end at these spearmen. But the pressure now on as Lyri comes forward with camel archers, Nikov comes forward with knights, and Hart is pressuring with conquistadors here.
Beautiful micro there by Nikov for sure. Goes for more knights, +2/+2. Hart is going for conquistadors. Lyri with the Berber camel archers. All of them going for full aggression, I believe. Yeah, and MBL going for knights as well. So all 4 going for massive army here in Castle Age. You see, the secret guys now in some defense. The Viper even built a defensive castle here and is now going for mango dice in Castle Age. Something we don't see too often.
Yeah, we don't see it too often, but he has got 3 TCs as well, and every little helps, you know. This additional firepower will certainly help, especially if he's sitting on the hill, just to support his teammates. And I guess it has the added benefit that once he does eventually reach Imp, he will have a base of Mangonite that are already ready and waiting to go. So we'll see how that goes. I mean, right now, Doubt is the military leader at the moment with the majority of the camel archers, or more camel archers, and he's had a lot longer to build them up, so he's done a really good job of that. Lyri, meanwhile, only has 7 military, and I wonder if that's because Doubt isn't booming as much. Nope, Doubt's on 3 TCs as well. Lyri also on 3 TCs. Lyri's just either lost more units or fallen behind in production.
Well,
and I think those camel archers, sorry to interrupt, but I think the camel archers for Aftermath are even more important in this game because you've got Viper making Mangadai as well, right?
Yeah, I think so as well. Lyri should be the guy carrying more than Doubt is probably, but he has the higher numbers for now. Lots of army, look at that. Feels like 6-7 players there in the center of the map, and that could be a big clash if Team Secret wanted to commit. I think they cannot do that against the hill.
Oh, I don't know. They're going to immediately take out some camel archers from Lyri, but you're right, the conquistadors at the back and the knights, of course, from Nikov, definitely threatening a lot of damage. But in comes Viper, and they might just go for the hill with his presence here as well. And yeah, it's Aftermath going to back up. Tyrant Secret going to get the hill. And whatever is left there from Hart will be killed off as these guys run away.
Where is MBL with his army? He's going to the north now. The only guy who isn't going for full army with all the upgrades. More of the boom approach from him goes for 4 TCs at the moment. So they want to have the Slav player in him, maybe with some Drashnir halberdiers and all the siege pushing from the left-hand side. Could be something tough to counter for Team Secret.
Yes, exactly. And at the moment, I noticed Lyri went up with a 4 TC as well. So it looks like Aftermath are taking the more boom approach. They should have the villager lead. Hard to say at a glance, but I mean, I'd say they probably got more villagers right now. I'm seeing 40s and 50s for Secret, and most people in 60s, or all of them in 70s for Aftermath. So Aftermath have more villagers at the moment. They don't have quite as much military, but they'll quickly catch up in military count because the second castle is up for Lyri now, and he's just doubled his camel archer production. So he should be catching up. He should be boosting those camel archer numbers over the next couple of minutes. Will Secret do damage in the meantime? Because right now they're kind of holding back.
Well, they need to get something done here, right? Villager counts, everyone around like 80-ish, I would say, except Jordan and Tedo. They are quite far behind. So it feels a lot of more eco for AM. But the Viper doing some damage to the left-hand side, and now some more aggression towards the right-hand side. It feels like Lyri should be able to defend that, though.
Yeah, this is what we need to see. We need to see more aggression from Secret right now, because they've got to kill some villagers to equalize out. Like I say, the production for Aftermath getting a little bit higher now that the next castles come up, and Leary's on the way up to Imperial before Doubt, by the way. And these are the two players we should be looking at side by side, in my opinion. Leary has a few more villagers than Doubt. His boom's been a little better, and he's going to be a little faster to Imperial as well. Next up is MBL, who's been quite quiet in the Castle Age. Going to be Imperial very soon. And then what does he make, Nearly? I saw him trying to drop down some siege workshops on the left side.
That should be Rams, Halberdiers with Drajnia upgrade. Jordan was a bit off there at the right-hand side, leaving Tato a bit exposed. Let's see if Jordan can find some more kills. Just doing a reasonable job against Leary here. All eyes at the moment for me at MBL, but distance is just very long. The boom, I don't see him transitioning too well into some aggression. I'd say somewhat of an even game at the moment.
Yeah, it does feel quite even. Obviously, the big difference right now is the fact that, oh no, look at this, Viper going to get caught. Oh wait, no, never mind. They're on the same team. I was like, whoa, he's going to lose so many Mangadai. But no, I was going to say, about the Mangadai, is the fact that he was making quite a bit of Mangadai in the Castle Age there. And, oh, that was funny. But he kept quite a lot of them alive. He's already got 23, and he's immediately going to do the Elite Mangadai upgrade. And so he's going to be able to get going as soon as he hits the Imperial Age here. He's going to be no waiting around before Viper is pushing in with those Mangadai and doing big damage.
But what can he do? Let's see. A lot of castles defensively. Elite Camel Archers now trying to take the engagement against Stout, who already has a big upgrade advantage there. Has Bloodlines is trying to take the fight against the hill now. Has one more defense upgrade and feels like against that hill he cannot take that fight.
No, I think the numbers are there for Leary as well. But like you say, the upgrades definitely are not. Leary, though, just finishing up +2 defense, just finishing up chemistry. Why doesn't he have Bloodlines, though? That's such an important tech. I don't think he has a stable, so it's, does need to consider getting one. Viper about to hit Imperial. MBL's been in for a while, but where's the play from MBL?
Well, that is a tricky thing, right? He wanted to get the siege workshop up, did want to go for the barracks, but it got denied by the one Viper raid over there against him. And then it's really tough. Slavs, they're not like the civs that can control the whole map. It's more like the one-dimensional push into the face, something he cannot deliver just yet.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm talking about when I'm comparing him to Viper right now. You know, the Slav player is the unique, the only player playing as the Slavs, and the Mongol player is the only player playing as the Mongols. But the difference here is so huge. You can see Viper already has a huge army. He's already pushing out. And MBL, meanwhile, he's been imp for a while, but there's nothing from him yet. And that, I think, is quite an important difference that we're going to see Secret taking advantage of in the next minutes.
Yeah, well, when did MBL lose so many villages as well, right? 32 losses. That wasn't a lot of knights from him. It feels like the Viper's transition was pretty nice. Yeah, he had extra boar and extra deer at the side that he could have used with the Mongols, but still felt MBL needs to get something done. It is walling the map quite nicely. Tato trapped at the right-hand side, but might even win that fight. Hard is transitioning away from Conquistadors towards Paladins.
Yep, we're seeing Leary right now getting a little bit caught out here. He's outnumbered by Doubt. He's got the Knights of Jordan to support the Camel Archers as well. So Leary's going to get pushed back there. And all three Secret players here in the same place. Where is... who are we missing here? Where is Tato at the moment? What's Tato doing? He's switching into Cavalier as well, right?
Let's take a look. Yeah, more stables from him. Just lost all his conquistadors, then 1,000. And what will we see? It will be like Camel Archer, Mangudai, Paladin against Paladin, Camel Archer, Halberdier.
And Siege.
And Siege?
Yeah.
What do you think about
a lot of Rams?
Berber Camels as well?
Berber Camels? Yeah, that could be pretty good. I mean, the
Has to be a
Berbers,
sling, though.
the Berbers have the versatility to do that, though. But right now, Nikov's coming through with some Cavalier. Illyri here taking quite a bad fight, actually. But with the Cavalier, they might be able to turn this around. Jordan 23 doesn't have Cavalier yet, but they might be forced to fight. They think they might be able to take it. Elite Mangudai from Viper nearly fully upgraded. But these guys just took quite a poor fight in the end. Lack of upgrades, and the Cavalier coming through for Nikov, pushing them back.
Thanks as well. Jordan's very late there with all the upgrades. And Leary, yeah, he started this one off 2v1, but had the higher numbers. And then the Paladins did take a lot of fire. Let's take a look. Leary is getting all the aggression done. MBL, I have no idea what he is playing at the moment. 154 villagers for him. That's way too much.
He's got a big boom, and he's working on the Siege Ram upgrade. He's working on the Halberdier. And maybe the play here is, okay, let's put all three of our players on the right side, make Secret Fighters there, and then just do one big push up the left with the Siege Rams and the Halbs, and maybe blindside the Secret team. Maybe go for a trade hit, maybe try and take down all the markets, something like that. Open them up, give them an opportunity to raid.
We'll see. Lots of walls on the map, so it will be tricky for all the players to really make something happen. We have Hart and Leary now switching over to the left-hand side, feeling like the right-hand side is safe. Actually, everyone is going over to the left-hand side. So finally,
Yep.
MBL, only 23 kills this game. He will start to continue, or will really start in this game now.
Yeah, well, we're looking at Secret's point of view right now, and they are trying to defend from this push, which is coming in on the left side. That's the Halbs from MBL, the Paladins from Heart, and the Siege Rams from MBL as well. They've got a nice little hill here to work with, so they're going to position nicely on that with the Mangudai and the Camels, while the Cavalier, which are about to become upgraded to Paladin, are taking the front line. Good defense from Secret. They'll be able to hold on there quite comfortably. And I think all four of their players in one place as well. So they've basically got a pretty solid fight on their hands if they want to take it here. I don't think the Slavs are looking scary at all at the moment.
No, they don't, but obviously that should be the Civ that loses a lot. Now Nikov is coming over, 20 Paladins going back. I feel this could be a better fight for AM if they combine their forces, but going back onto that hill, it's a big fight.
It is a big fight, and to be honest, we'll be... well, it's hard to say who's going to get it, right? You really need, in this situation, either the Paladins to get to the back lines and get the Rams, or maybe the Mangudai to be able to take out the Siege. But the Secret team have a hill to work with here, and that's going to be huge. The problem is, once the Rams start coming into the front, then you're going to find it a lot harder to do damage with these Camel Archers. They're going to suddenly drop off massively, and Lyria's Camel Archers are going to be able to do a lot more. But both teams feel like they can win this fight. Both teams absolutely 100% committed to this engagement. The Rams from MBL could be doing quite a lot of work right now. But I don't know. I think this is going to be a bit of a regroup from Secret, it looks like, as they give up that hill.
Our population, only Jordan at pop 140. No idea why he is so low. No real raids. And you know what the real masterpiece would be here? Banish cannon galleons on that pawn. They would be so good in that fight. But obviously tough to get to them at the moment. You're trying to get to the Paladin masses. That looks good for AM at the moment.
Well, look at the KDs. I think that's a really good indicator of how that fight went. You can see that it's Leary and Doubt with the Berber Camel Archers who are really doing the most damage, followed closely by the Mangudai from Viper, and then the role of MBL with 29 kills and 107 deaths. He is tank. He is tank. He's not supposed to get kills. He's supposed to tank the shots and throw some halbs into the mix to distract the arrow fire. And it seemed like that might have just worked out quite well for them, because even with a negative KD like that, they're still keeping up this push.
I think he will start to contribute a bit more concerning kills once he gets onto SO, something he isn't really attacking for just yet. Mass Halberdiers, now he is still at the front, and yeah, tanks are important in those scenarios for sure. Jordan now coming in with a lot of paladins and another big battle.
And I think this will go better for Secret here. The Siege Rams immediately going down. We've got Onager at the back from MBL, but I do think Secret will push this back because they have the Paladin numbers. Where was Nikov in that fight? Nikov did not have enough Paladins over here, and I don't know where he's at right now, but he's down to 19 military. Meanwhile, we complained about Jordan having a low military. He's still on a low amount of population, but he's still contributing to this fight over here, leading the charge with those Paladins. Both of the players with Paladins struggling to get the numbers up, I think, at the moment. And it looks like it's a gold issue.
Yeah, and even Elite Magic Hassa added from Nikov. He is now up to 46 trade cards, though the only guy not really having numbers there is MBL with 9 trade cards. All the other players with reasonable numbers and still increasing as well. Push at the right-hand side, now somewhat being set up. This will be a beautiful game coming our way.
This is already shaping up to be an epic, as both teams are so determined to fight for this little hill, but Secret have got it back after losing it the first time. Yeah, I mean, I'm just not seeing enough Paladins in this side of the map for AM. I just feel like they're getting crushed by the Paladin numbers here. Where are the Paladins from Nikov? I think they're running over now, but like you say, Magyar Hussar coming in, trade carts taking a while to get running, and obviously you're sinking gold into trade carts. It takes a while for them to pay themselves back, and as a result, you know, it does slow you down a little bit with that Paladin production. Now we see Tato and Jordan starting to get their trade cart numbers up. We see Hart and Nikov starting to get their trade cart numbers up. We should see a bit more of a steady stream of Paladin production coming our way.
Let's hope so. Overall military numbers a bit better for the AM guys. And we see Tato even researching onagers as Spain. Obviously, that doesn't make too much sense. I believe he is doing the sneak attack left-hand side. Probably wants to cut the wood line there pretty soon and then raid with Paladins. But not enough numbers for him yet because, again, they're fighting in the center.
They are, and it's... I kind of don't want to take my camera off of this, but I also need to see what else is going on around the map. On the left side, we did see MBL with some Haubs cleaning up some of Tato's Paladins over there. We've also got Onager for Viper, so he'll probably go for Siege Onager when he can. Interestingly, both of the Spanish players did Supremacy to protect from raid damage, and it's now Aftermath who had the hill. This hill changing hands all over the place.
Not a lot of siege now for AM, though. Where are the Rams from MBL? Where are the traps as well?
Yeah.
Paladins from Hart not really engaging. I think they could be pushed off that pretty soon.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the minimap, and I do see, thanks to the X there of Hart, a raid coming through. The Elite Mangadai from Viper looking for a way through here, but there is no way through. It's completely walled off as far as I can tell. But it will mean that Leary will send some units back and Hart will send some units back, and Secret could probably take this hill again now. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up, well, they're able to take it. But there are actually now bombard cannons or bombard towers coming down from Hart. So I think the goal of Aftermath here is going to be able to get some bombard towers up on this hill and then solidify that position a little more. Siege Onager coming in now for Viper and MBL as well here.
Oh, and love that. That will make it so much tougher to control that hill. Doubt now even preparing a lot of traps there. Leary holding that hill for now, but I think he should be pushed off that pretty soon. Hard trying to get more bomber towers up, as you said. I don't see AM holding that.
We're going to see some big Siege Onager shots coming in very soon as the Siege Onager techs come through for both of these teams. These Camel Archers better watch out because they are under a lot of pressure right here as these Siege Onagers get upgraded. But yeah, the Trebs from Doubt, of course, should be able to take down these bombard towers quite quickly. I don't know what the hell that Treb from Leary was doing right there, but it was there. Must have been a misclick of sorts. But what a... I mean, they've been fighting over this spot for about 15 minutes now, and both teams looking so even in their engagements.
Seems to be the favorite of both teams here. Still no cannon guns, and if we didn't see them yet, it will be tough to see them ever. Oh god, look at the south side of the pond and all the paladins of hearts being blocked because Leary screwed up a waypoint there and is blocking with some camel archers.
And the walls could be deleted to help them get through as well. But that's important. Like, you know, as nice as the battle is, there you go, he's deleted the wall. You've got to understand, you know, what forces are at play, what's causing the shifts in balance. Now look at Doubt's KD. Look at that, 437 kills. The Berber Camel Archers leading the way for their teams at the moment. Meanwhile, MBL at 146 kills, 408 losses. I'm still struggling to see where the slab player is making the difference here. Is it going to be the siege onagers now that those are up?
They have to be it, right? Building them cheaper makes a lot of sense to go for them. It is pretty good against either Mangodice or Camel Archer if he can land a shot. Maybe some against the traps.
They just instantly went down. All three of them. 1, 2, 3 dead. I think Viper microed them down with the Mangodice.
I think it was Stout microing them down with the traps, but it also could have been Tato.
No, he didn't hit them with the traps. He didn't hit them with the traps. But for whatever reason, right now, why is there no paladins here all of a sudden for Jordan 23? Where is Jordan 23?
I don't really know. Where is he?
He's got paladins on the right side. Oh my god, are you kidding me? Look at where Jordan 23 is reinforcing from.
That's just super bad.
That's really bad. He's reinforcing from here, and he's running them all the way to the left side of the map. I think he needs more forward stables, Nilly.
Yeah, and he's not even producing out of the 3 forward ones. That's just so bad. They are still producing from home as well. That's a sloppy inplay and something that you shouldn't see from Tato and Viper, for example.
Now look at this. This is where it gets scary. A lot of bombard cannons on the hill and bombard towers on the hill. I can count about 12 bombard towers right there. And that's going to make it so much harder for Secret to be able to push this back. And it's going to give them such a great staging position to push through here. Look at how many dead bodies there are on the floor. It's absolutely crazy. And meanwhile, you've got this amazing play, amazing concave from Doubt and Viper, really controlling their units so well. I think the problem here is the lack of paladins for the Secret team. They just don't have the paladin presence at the moment.
Oh, so true. And look at the resources of Tato, of Jordan, completely off balance as well. He's going for paladins only and has 40 on wood, 30 farmers only. Trade is at reasonable numbers with 53, but don't like the number of stables around, as we said. Tato, he's doing a bit of a better job, but not getting up to the very big numbers as well.
Absolutely, and I mean, they've been fighting over this spot for so long, both teams pouring everything they've got into this left side, while the right side, Heart's making a play right now. This is a big play. A lot of siege rams, a lot of bombard towers, bombard cannons to back it up, paladins as well. This is a mighty fine Spanish push, and he's going to try to take down this castle from Viper and make a play on this right side, try and find some damage over here.
Oh, and that costs so much attention to micro all against the bombard towers there, bombard cannons. And in the meanwhile, left-hand side push continues. Lots of traps out. This is one of the best games. And I thought game number 2 in the series before was very good. This one might even take longer. Those are the best players in the world.
This is an absolute bloodbath, and it's amazing. I mean, look at the floor. Look at the ground. It's just covered. It's incredible, and this is just something else. This is a whole nother level to what we saw in LOS versus coaches earlier on. It really is. Nikov breaking through, doing some raiding now, though. Finds a way through the walls here as he makes another attempt at breaking the gate of Viper. And that is going to mean that more Manga Hussar are making it into the back lines of the Secret base. They are holding the left side. I don't know how well they're holding it because, to be honest, those bombard towers seem to be coming further and further forward by the minute. And yeah, I mean, where is Secret lacking right now? What are they lacking? Where are the problems?
It's tough to say. Military numbers simply not that high, but well, reasonable for all teams. It just feels like positioning at the left-hand side, as O's aren't really getting the fights in. It feels like MBL just has the good job of focusing down, moving the traps forward, halberdiers, makes it so much easier. It's way tougher for the Viper, who at the moment needs to control 4 areas, and even he can't do that.
Well, you know what I'm amazed at? When you look at the KDs, you look at the number of kills on the Aftermath team, and then you look at the number of kills on the Secret team. Secret have killed so much more this game. But it doesn't matter if you've killed more, if you end up losing ground, if you end up losing momentum, right? So, it's, especially for MBL, it's a thankless job, because he's just got to throw as many units into the meat grinder as possible, and essentially just, be tank. But it is working for his team. They're throwing away units, but they're doing it strategically.
Yeah, and KD is a misleading statistics.
Yeah.
If you think about cost efficiency, how many resources you killed and how many resources you lost, the statistics should be a bit closer. And a lot of axes here on the center or on the map. So much going on. Right hand side push seems to be somewhat stopped. The Viper and Jordan focusing together to stop only Hard. That should mean left hand side should go more into the favor of the AM guys.
Yep, and it is, actually. It is. One thing I have to say is that the Secret team just aren't building enough Bombard Towers. Look at the difference in the Bombard Towers. Aftermath, everywhere you see a push, you see a lot of Bombard Towers from Heart. And that's just additional damage. That's additional, defense from a counter-attack. And those Bombard Towers, I think that's what's winning Aftermath the game right now. And in my opinion, they are winning the game at the moment, even if the scores say otherwise. I don't know if you agree with me on that, Nilly.
I absolutely agree. Left-hand side is looking pretty nice there as well, losing more and more buffer. Maybe that's even the time where you want to add some more Rams. Right-hand side looking reasonable for them as well. Nikov now adding some more Paladins. I don't like that. You don't really need double Paladins. Maybe MBL building some siege over at the right-hand side, adding some Halberdiers there as well. Could be a nice addition.
Yeah, so it's about time now that we start looking at wood, I think, because the wood is starting to get chopped out. We can see that there's a lot of idle villages for Secret where the wood lines have been chopped away. But there is still quite a decent amount of wood in the back, it seems, though it won't last for too long. And when you take that into consideration, Aftermath do seem to have a bit more map control. They do seem to have the ability to step forward and take the woods in the center of the map, now that they've started to push through on both sides at the same time. I think they're in a much better position with that.
Yeah, the question is who is really using more wood, right? And it feels like double
Lyrian
Paladin...
Doubt.
Lyrian Doubt are using a lot.
And those
Viper
are the
should
two
use
guys who are...
and MBL.
Yeah. Well, Lyrian and Doubt absolutely need a solid supply of wood, because they're making camel archers, and as you can see, it's the camel archers that are doing the most damage here. So, if they lose access to wood and lose their camel archer production, well, I think it would be GG very quickly after that.
Yeah, absolutely. If all the camel archers are going down and no wood production, let's take a look. Wood price already being bought, 136, stone at 300 here. So people are thinking about the long run. And just remember, 3-4 weeks prior to that, they had a Regicide Fortress game. It lasted 2.5 hours, and the wood price got up to 900. So
That's
they know
crazy.
how to play the long game.
Oh yeah, that is crazy. Look at this on the right side though. Jordan and Viper pushing back now. It looked so good for a while. Hart and Nikov making really good progress here. But it's starting to crumble on this right side for Aftermath. And they've got to be careful, because when you open a hole into your enemy, you've got to make sure that that hole doesn't allow them to come into you as well, right? I mean, they have got a wall on this right side, but if Viper and Jordan push through here, is it defended further down the line? And there is a big opening there, so we could start seeing some Mangudai raids from Viper. We could start seeing some Paladin raids from Jordan in a moment, as this front area collapses for Aftermath on the right side.
Yeah, that's so true, but a lot of production behind that, building some more bomber towers. Tough to run through there. It absolutely is a useful thought that you raised there. I think some more gates behind for Hearts would be quite nice. Did over chop a bit. Oh, they're even trying to fill those holes
Yeah.
And left-hand side seems to be somewhat safe as well. This game is just taking for quite some time here.
But the thing that I like about the bombard towers on the left side is that it just gives you more time. It buys you time. Like, if you start losing one of these sides, your bombard towers will stall your enemy long enough that you can reinforce and go back there later. On the right side, however, these guys now really need to turn their attention to this, and they are. Nikov with a lot of paladins. He's got 73 military right now. Hart here as well with 55, and Leary coming over with some camel archers as well. They want to push this back, and they want to push this back for good. And if they can do that, well, it might be, shoe on the other foot situation. It could be Aftermath pushing through here and raiding very shortly as well. And immediately, oh my goodness, Viper and Jordan just running away.
Oh man, and those army masses are something we don't see too often in RM games here. That is just madness. The Viper has mass amount of Mangodites, needed to go back there, waited for Doubt to come over to help. And meanwhile, Jordan is losing all his paladins. Left hand side pushed, somewhat stopped, and is this still completely even? Score says yes.
Yeah, the score does kind of say it's even. There's 500 points between them. Doubt coming over with some elite camel archers as well. Leary there with his own camel archers, but here come the siege onagers from Viper. If he can hit some big shots now, that could immediately send these guys packing. He does get a great number of camel archers there with those siege onagers, and now Tato to the rescue to once again push Aftermath back on this right-hand side. Big siege onager shots now coming through for MBL as well. He's repositioned to the right flank. And Nilly, I mean, you're a deathmatch player. This must be wonderful for you to be watching right now.
Absolutely, and Zach, it is happening. Look at the center point. Hart is taking for elite cannon galleons. And if he gets like 8 to 10 elite cannon galleons there, he will just control such a big area. It will be impossible to wall. Camel archers could go over and over there. They can just build more stables, can control all the center of the map, and I think if they get that control, they are winning the game.
That is amazing. You called it earlier on, but that's awesome. Spanish cannon galleons from here, and here. I mean, what can they reach? What can they do? I'm questioning how much they're going to be able to do, to be honest. They might hit a couple of these bombard cannons, but what else?
Simply allowing yourself to have 20 stables there uncontested.
Okay,
it's just
on
so
the other
good.
side.
You can just put your waypoints, always produce some paladins after you lost a fight, and yeah, just never allow your enemy to ever get food and wood eco up again.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at Nikov. He's added 2 siege towers. I mean, 1 siege tower, and you think, okay, that's probably a misclick. The second siege tower, absolutely intentional. So I don't know if he's just trying to like meme on secret right now, but sending some siege towers into the mix. Let's see though, the bombard cannon galleons go forward, and then what? Will they follow up with villagers? Will they put stables here? Will they start just pushing straight through the middle?
I think that's what they should do. Now killing some of the gates and walls at the left-hand side from Viper. And then you can just move 80 army there, and you can decide where you go. It's impossible for Secrets to always catch everything. It will be just so tricky. But we see another very big fight at the right-hand side. How much army is that? Like 200?
Oh my god, that has to be 200 units right there. Surely. I mean, there's, what, 4 players? All of them have over 50 military. Some of them have closer to 70. So, yeah, probably about 200 units on the screen, just going at it. Jordan losing a lot here, though. There's quite a lot of paladins from AM at the moment. And those rams from Viper aren't really doing anything because there are no ranged units in this fight. It's now Viper with his back up against the wall, but Mangudai kind of like it like that. They can sit in a little corner, a little pocket, and fight for a long time before going down, killing a lot of paladins in the process. So, obviously, Nikov Hart aware of that. They're happy with the damage for now, but we'll see if they can turn this into a bigger push or a better push by following up with some siege or some bombard towers.
Yeah, bomber towers enforcing there for sure. Not enough siege at the moment for the AM guys at the right hand side. More important is the left hand side area. We see Viper trying to gain some more ground there. We see massive amount of dead villagers really trying to fight for those woodlands now. The wood price at the moment 460.
You know, I love it at this part of the game when Viper is on 28 villagers and 71 trade carts. And you might be wondering, why is he at 28 villagers? Surely, did he get raided? Like, what happened? No, that's just the Mongols. I don't think he got raided. I mean, it's not that uncommon to see the Mongol player with that few villagers and all on gold.
Yeah, it is tricky. He has to have all of them on wood, but if you can't get wood, you need to have more trade cards to buy.
Yes,
the
exactly.
big problem is, like, Mongols don't have guilds, so initially he should sling Tado, for example. Tado should buy wood and then sling wood back, which kind of takes a lot, but is the better team strategy. But I know that they aren't doing that yet, so some inefficiency there for sure for the Viper. Left hand side, so important.
Lyri down to 28 villas as well. Viper now at 24 villagers. I mean, who needs villagers when you've got trade carts? Just trade 1 for 1, villager to trade cart, and buy all of the wood that you need. Obviously, the problem with that is you can't do it forever, but then again, the wood doesn't last forever either. And Lyri now moving over to the left side to try and defend this, as Viper does continue this push with these siege rams. Those Mongol siege rams, super speedy. The V8 engine inside of them, and well, they're opening a big hole up to this trade. In fact, they could run through now if they wanted to, if Lyri wasn't sitting there defending and being a bit of a gatekeeper on this left flank.
He is indeed. Let's take a look. Can he take a good fight against Stout there? It's roughly 70 camel archers against 70 MBL going forward. What's going on?
I'm laughing at MBL. I mean, I'm not laughing at him. I'm probably laughing with him. I mean, he's sending those halbs forward into the meat grinder, right? I mean, he's at 1,200 deaths now, and those halbs did nothing.
Would he maybe switch away and go more for a sling approach?
Oh, maybe. Maybe. I think he just needs more siege, more than anything. But it's kind of hard, right? When you don't have the wood, how are you making the siege?
Yeah, well, now he's in a bad spot. Obviously, he has 80 villagers. Still a lot of them working, though, so that's kind of efficient, but maybe more paladins is the better option for the long run here. You don't really want to have units that cost wood. Next engagement here at the left-hand side. And first time in this game that I feel like Secret is finally really pushing with bomber towers in some place.
Where's that? On
left-hand side.
Left side. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a few bombard towers there. I see 4. I don't think they're going to be able to follow it up with much, though, because Lyri's got way too many camel archers here. Masses of camel archers. And Doubt and Viper are holding back in the middle and trying to clean out the bombard towers from Aftermath, which were placed a long time ago. They're finally turning their attention to cleaning that area out and maybe taking that hill back as well.
Other thought that the chat just rose, and beautiful quick one to the left hand side from Nikov here. What do you think about Boya?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up as well. I think it's okay, right? Because Jordan and Tato are both going for paladins. If you can add Boyar into the mix, they will perform well versus paladins. The problem is they will die very quickly to the Mangadai and the Camel Archers. However, you have to also ask the question of, well, if you've got wood and gold to spare, surely Boyar would still perform better than, food and gold to spare, surely Boyar would perform better than the Halbs anyway.
Probably. Well, it was about cost efficiency, but at one point in Imperial Age, it's not about cost efficiency anymore, it's about pop efficiency.
Yeah.
And look at that incredible push from the Secret team again. Everyone grouping up their armies, and that just looks unstoppable.
Yeah, they're even bringing in their Neesies into fight here as well, as they come forward and, take down all of those bombard towers with the Trebs at the back. And, AM are quite split now, aren't they? You've got Nikov quite split on the left. You've got Lyri split there. You've got a few defensive units in the middle. And then on the right, you've got a few paladins from Heart, but it looks like the military numbers from AM just aren't there right now. I don't know if that's because of positioning or because they just don't have as many. And looking at the military count, Doubt's on 91 military, Viper's at 83. I think they're going for one kind of Hail Mary, all-in push. Like, we don't need any eco. We're just going to build as much military as we possibly can and finish the game here.
It's not that much, and even if they lose all their army, they're controlling so much at the left-hand side at the moment. It's totally fine for them. They're just controlling the game, getting good fights over and over again. I think even if they trade evenly, they are still in a fine spot, and I hate that MBL is now going for champs. That makes 0 sense.
MBL going for champs.
Yeah.
He's got 69 vills. What's he looking like on resource? Oh my goodness, look at Doubt's resources. He's got 5k gold in the bank and 11k food. And he's at 96 military. That's insane. That's a lot of military right there.
And in the meanwhile, Shadow has 3k, so could maybe use something. But yeah, MBL, 200 swordsmen now going forward there. It seems like his KD wasn't bad enough for him and he really wanted to throw more away. Harbor is just so much better. It's just like he has to sling onto paladins here. It's just... I'm shocked that he's going for that.
They're a little bit more expensive, aren't they? But at least they don't cost wood. That's probably his thinking, because he doesn't have much wood, and he might not be able to get much more wood in this game. But here we go. Tato on the left side makes a big push now. Paladins into the trade line there. He's going to find some trade carts, and we've even got some raiding in the south as well from Viper with some Mangadite. That's starting to heat up as well. And, well, I mean, the trade now, if that goes down, then we've got big problems for Aftermath.
Oh yeah, it is, and even the bad markets there for MBL, one completely out of position, kind of helping him, but a lot of trade cards went down, and they are so costly now. Just think about it, like wood, 600 gold. So the trade card alone costs now like 650 gold, and needs to go quite some time.
That's madness.
Worth it again.
These trade carts bring 153 gold per trip, by the way, which is pretty high. But yeah, the wood price, 600 gold for 100 wood. That's absurd. And these guys are depleting every last resource on the map to keep this aggression, keep this military pressure up. And this has been going on since minute 30. And now we're at 1 hour and 36. It looks like Secret are finally starting to get more ground in the middle. This raid on the left has certainly knocked Aftermath's confidence perhaps a little bit, while on the right side the push over there completely stopping in its tracks. Aftermath just don't seem to be what they used to be, and I see a lot of idle military around for Heart here as well. Some idle paladins just in the back, a lot of units getting stuck as well on the right side at the pond earlier on, and now the battle that could be the last battle of the game if one team wins this conclusively here. Let's see how it goes. The military counts at the moment looking so good for Viper and Doubt. 100 military for Viper, 88 for Doubt. Meanwhile, you've got 98 Camel Archers for Lyri, and Nikov down to just 36 military here. A little bit concerning for Aftermath.
They're even trying to get wood there at the front, buying 200 wood here is Lyri, trying to get onto some numbers. He's way too much at the front now. Now, he should never lose a single Camel Archer here. You always want to fight with Paladins at the front. Such a weird, tough game. Hart lost all his markets, all his cannon guns. Did go up to like 20, 25 in the whole game, but never had them in the center of the pond when getting attacked. Lost all of them, and the push just continues. Enough siege behind there as well. Doubt and Viper just playing a beautiful game.
And I'm wondering what's going wrong for Nikov this game as well. He's got a very strange KD. He's gone only for Paladins. And he's got a lot more deaths than kills. Nearly 2-1. And nobody on the secret team is even close to having that terrible of a KD.
Well, they didn't fight against... Well, I think, yeah, Hart should have a pretty similar to Nikov. Maybe he lost more villagers, maybe never got any villager killed. That's surprising to me. I think that should be a bit more even. Maybe the cannon, bomber towers. kills.
Ah.
Have to be carrying hard. Yeah.
Yes, Hart would have done a lot of damage with the bombard cannons, but now that the bombard cannons are starting to go, now they're starting to be taken out, and Secret are starting to push through here quite nicely. Amazingly, there's still even some gold to be mined, but I don't think they'll bother with that. Viper down to just 12 villagers, by the way. 75 trade carts, 80 military, and 12 villagers. That's what we call eco-balance at the post-Imperial stage of the game for the Mongols, when there's no wood left on the map, or at least no accessible wood. 667 gold to buy 100 wood right now, as everybody is basically at the limit. Look at Blurry's resources. He's got nothing in the bank.
Oh man, what a game. MBL, in the end, the champs couldn't carry. I think the sling so much better there. Hard with the solid game there at the right-hand side. What an incredible play. The Team Secret players, incredible team play. All the walling, all the fighting. This was just a treat to see them play.
Oh my gosh, you don't get games like that, do you? You just don't see that very often. At all. I mean, that was off the charts in terms of what you would ever expect to see in a 4v4 team game. Just so much intensity on this left-hand side. The whole game, for over an hour, fighting over this hill. It was aftermaths, it was secrets, it was aftermaths again, it was secrets again, it was aftermaths, and then finally in the end, Team Secret managed to push it back, and things get absolutely crazy when there's no wood. Look at the minimap here, there's no wood. There's tiny, tiny amounts which are left. The only accessible wood now is in the middle of no man's land, and players ending up on 16 villagers, 21 villagers, 32 villagers, while the trade numbers are absolutely sky high. Players buying the resources from the market, pumping up the stone price to 545, pumping up the wood price to 667, and in the end, the war of attrition won by Team Secret with a massive number of Mangudai, a massive number of Camel Archers, and I think it's safe to say that those Camel Archers probably did the most damage in that game. Doubt 1,580 kills with his Camel Archers in that one. Absolutely insane. We can go through, have a look at the remaining resources as well, just to see what everyone had in the bank, for those in the chat asking. Viper, 500 food and wood, about 4,000 gold. Moving on to Doubt, he had 12,000 food, which is kind of crazy. I don't understand why he didn't send that to Tato or Jordan. Jordan had 5,000 food, 5,000 gold. He could have kept making paladins for some time. And Tato had 600 food, 1,200 gold. Then looking at Aftermath, you've got Nikov with a good amount of gold. Everyone still had quite a bit of gold. But I think the thing that basically ended that game was this on the left side. The Mangudai running into the trade line, and Aftermath knowing that they were about to hemorrhage a huge number of trade carts. So, Nili, any final thoughts on that game before we move into the next one?
It felt like MBL couldn't be efficient enough with the Slavs. And it is very easy to look very bad with Slavs against those civilizations. Yeah. I honestly feel his approach could have been, he builds 130 farms, Nikov and Hart 0 farmers, and he goes for the full food sling.
Yeah.
I think, like, Slav farmers are faster. I think that could be a good strategy. He just needs to support with rams, SO, maybe some scorpions as well, maybe some traps, but halberdiers, I think after minute 50, not really the unit I wanted to see.
Yeah, true. I mean, MBL did have a lot of food, and he could have, maybe slung that out. But, I mean, at the end of the day, he still needs to be producing some effective unit that can do damage in the battles, because you can't fight 4v3 post-Imperial. He has to have something in there to at least help in some way. And I think the Siege Onagers, the Siege Rams, they were great. We saw how that really influenced things. But I think maybe the Boyar could have been a good choice. Halbs were fine earlier on, but later in the game, Halbs were just not cutting it, and he was ending it. He was feeding a lot of Halbs into the meat grinder in the end.